Well, hello everyone, and thanks for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner for my Quick Tip Thursday, and this is episode number 17. So my quick tip is a couple of things. Number one, first and foremost, finish projects that you have going on, complete them before you start on a new project. And at Rachel's over at Roxy Creations, they do a slow stitch project every 6 months. And they started a new one in January. And I thought, I can't start it. I've got some unfinished projects to do, and I'm going to complete those before I do any slow stitching. So this was one of the projects I completed. I think I had shown you most of the sewing on the inside, but what I hadn't done is border it and complete the back side. And I did complete it. So it is ready now to be gifted. I think this is going to my granddaughter, Olivia. What I did is I couched down, created by me and the year. So this is one project that was done, completed. The other project that I was able to complete was this book. Now, this was so far away. I mean, I'm stumbling over my words. Long ago was the phrase I was looking for. But what I finally did is I created a book to hold all of my tags from the 52 tag challenge by Anne Brooke. And this was way back. Let me pull these off, or at least one of them, because I have the date, 2021. So there are 52 tags in which she gave us a prompt each week for it. And they were just stuck in a drawer, and I felt they need to go in a book. So I constructed an album for them, and I did a little bit of slow stitching with just neutral colored fabric and doilies and lace as my background. And then I pinned each tag onto the page and Velcroed it so that I'm able to lift it up and reveal what the prompt was and what I had written about it. So here is that album. I'm so proud of it. Look at all these beautiful tags. Oh, feast your eyes on that. Very, very proud of this project. And to have finally put it in a place where somebody can admire it. That was back in the day when I drank Diet Coke. What was the prompt? Let me lift that up. I think it was a cuppa. I think they did a cup of coffee or tea, but I didn't drink either of those. So I did Diet Coke, which is what I do drink or did drink. I don't drink that anymore. Oh, now why didn't this? Where's my? Oh, there it is. Got to see where it is. But anyway, this project is done and ready to go on a shelf. And what I used is one of my Italian ledgers that I bought in Italy. So with those two projects complete, I thought, yes, now I can start on something new. And I'm going to bring out what I started on. So one of the prompts from the Slow Stitch project was a Huswif, Huswif. It was last month's prompt, and that was one in which I said, I have to make. So I have started mine. And what I did is I did a mock up first on some paper so I could kind of put down where I wanted lace, scissors, a zippered pouch, needles, and etc. So here's the start of mine. And I'm going to have to pull it down to show you. So what started this was this box. I had bought a box of chocolates in Australia. They were absolutely delicious chocolates. And I thought that's a perfect box to hold sewing supplies. I can't remember if I told you what the purpose of these were. Huswifs were made by women for their men to take to war, whether it be the Civil War or World War II. And this had small pockets to hold sewing supplies to mend buttons or their uniforms. Now, I've made mine larger because I'm not going off to war and I don't have to worry about the size. But what I need to do is create an envelope to go here to hold things, and then there's going to be supplies here. But this original box had a box of chocolates in it. And so what I'm going to do is attach it here to the bottom, and then I have made 2 pockets to hold lace, and there can even be another pocket back here because I did not sew down the back fabric. So there can actually be 4 pockets there. And then I made a zippered pouch. Let me get rid of that paper. And so the zippered pouch opens up like this, and you could put fabric in it and zip it up, or supplies. It is enclosed down at the bottom, but the other thing that I did is, again, I left this tube area open so that if you wanted to put additional fabrics there and sewing supplies here, for instance, other pairs of scissors, or let's see, let me show you. I bought these to make Suffolk puffs. So those can go in there and zip up, and then I have the fabric behind there. If I decide not to use those in there, I can put some other scissors. And I may flip over some fabric so that it doesn't slip out in case it gets tipped that way. But like I said, so I made a zippered pocket. Let me pull this out. And so then this will be attached, and I'm going to cover this. And then this will be rolled closed. Then I will have that pocket, and it will roll to there. And then I have this area, and I have a needle threader there, a card in which I will wrap some thicker lace on. And again, I left this open here, so a couple of those cards can go in there. And then here is 3 pockets that I constructed to hold needles. And then that is closed down with Velcro. And then I think I showed you this. This idea was from Christine at Christine Creates, and it's just a little pocket for a pair of scissors, smaller pair of like embroidery scissors, and then that button keeps it from falling out. And then I constructed this little pocket here, and in there is a tape measure. And then it closes with this button and flap that goes down and around, down and around. So then this will go like this. And then I constructed a pin cushion. And I attached a magnet so that as I'm sewing, if I want to just drop my needle there, I can, and it will stick. This is filled with walnut shells. And then in these pockets, I have my flexor pin, my erasable pen, some fabric glue, a quilting ruler, and then a template for drawing circles. And I left that bottom part open so it can just slip in between there. And then the pin cushion comes up to this side there, and then it folds over the rest of the way. And then once this is all covered, then I will do some kind of a closure or a tie. But I just love it. So what I want to do now is show you how to sew an envelope out of fabric, and I will be putting that there. So let me gather my supplies and I'll be back with you guys. To make my envelope, I'm using my Stampin' Up! Envelope punch board to know the size of the fabric. And I measured this area, and it's like more than 4.5. So I realized that my envelope could be 4 by 4.5. I'm going to bring this up so you guys can see. Hopefully it'll focus. So 4 by 4.5. So I need 7 1/4 by 7 1/4 piece of fabric. And this is the fabric I've decided to use. It's a nice thick fabric. And Pam, I think you sent me this fabric. So I've cut out a piece that is 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. Then I need to mark where I need to cut. So I'm going to grab my pin, my flexor pin. So let me grab that. And so I need to do a score line and a punch at 3.5. I hope this will work. I tried the punch board on the fabric and it is too thick. So I'm going to measure here to 3.5. It's going to be, about. So I'm going to do it on both of these sides, and then I think I can do it on the other side too. We'll see. We're going to make it work. Did I say 3.5 or 3.25? 3.5. We're going to just do it on all the sides. We'll see what happens. If not, if it doesn't work out, then I'll use this fabric for something else. So I need to snip that right now so I don't lose my spot since it's the same color of pen. So I'm going to do 3.5 here. Go up just a tiny bit. I don't know if it's quite even, but let me just turn this like this and just snip. Okay, so then now that I've snipped, I'm going to just go in just a little bit more and snip out a notch. I don't know if that's going to be enough. We'll see. So I had a fantastic Mother's Day. I can't remember if I told you guys, but my daughter and son-in-law bought a home in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is 2 hours from Phoenix. It's up in the mountains in the pine forest. And we went up there and we worked so hard. We constructed beds and made beds and washed linens and went shopping for groceries, and boy, we worked hard. But we got to spend Saturday night up there, and it's considerably cooler than the Phoenix area. So I plan on spending a lot of time up there. So I think I'm going to be doing some heavy duty sewing. I'm going to just clip these off. I think it's about like that. We're going to just see. But it's definitely a lot cooler than the valley. So I told them, I said, well, I'm going to go up there. And when you guys want to come up, you just tell me, Mom, you got to go home and go back down to the valley because we're coming up to our home. Oh, I am going to be up there for an entire week in June. The 2 older grandkids are going to a church camp up in Flagstaff, and my daughter wants someone to be there while they're at camp, just in case there's a problem. And so I'm going to go up there and hang out. Let's see how this works. So, I think it's going to work out fine. So that's going to be our envelope there. And we're going to sew it. Oh, and then that's going to be the flap. So that's what you do, guys. You just snip away. And what I'll do is kind of finger press that. And yeah. So anyway, I'm excited about being able to get out of the heat. You guys have heard me say this before. If it wasn't for my kids living here, I would not live here in Arizona in the heat. I would live up somewhere in the mountains. Is that prettier there or prettier this way? I don't think it quite matters. but I am going to trim this off here so it's a little bit more even. And then I'm going to finger press this in. It's not a perfect envelope, but it will serve its purpose to hold something in there. So then what I'm going to do is just take some needle and thread and stitch that down. So I'm going to hold it like that, and I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start on the edge here and just do a straight stitch down just to attach those. So yeah, it was a fantastic Mother's Day. On the Thursday before Mother's Day, my son took me out to dinner to celebrate. I had to leave Miss Fiona home because up there at the Flagstaff house, they don't have a doggy door yet. And I didn't want to take a chance of little Miss Fiona having an accident in the house. She needed to go do some business. So my daughter, you've heard me say before that they have a soft-coated Wheaten Terrier, and they took Finn up there, but that's their home. So if their dog makes a mess in their own home, but he didn't. Well, actually he did. But what had happened is it's so nice and cool up there. They had decided to leave the back door open so that Finn could come in and out as he needed to. And then around 6 o'clock at night, they were going to cut off his water and then take him out just before they go to bed to use the restroom. And then he wouldn't have to go during the night. And but what had happened is one of the grandkids had accidentally closed the back door, so he couldn't go outside to go potty. So he had a little accident, and of course it was in my bedroom that I was staying in, but thank goodness my daughter had taken up a carpet cleaner, and they took care of it. But poor little Finnegan, that's what I call him, Finnegan. He had a little accident. So yeah, this is going to be cute. I had made one of these. What made me remember this is I had made one and sent it to Pam, and she was using it in a project. And I had come, and she mentioned, she goes, "Oh, this came from Juanette," and I had completely forgot about it. So what I'm going to do is just, because it is slow stitching and it can be a little bit wonky, I'm just going to tie it off and then start on the other side. Doesn't matter if you can see knots or whatever. It's the freedom of slow stitching. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now let's do my quilter's knot and go down the other side. So what else is new? Can I tell you? Oh, well, I went to the doctor today for to see GI doctor because it's time for my colonoscopy. And this went like this. So I had one done some time ago in California, but I hadn't had one done here in Arizona yet. So if you guys have ever had one done, do not worry about it. First of all, you don't even remember having it done because they put you out. And the worst part of it is the prep, the procedure itself. You don't even know what's going on. You're down for the count. So get your colonoscopy to screen for colon cancer, you guys. Don't be afraid of them. So yeah, so now I need to see when my daughter is available to take me and pick me up. And so, yeah, that's what I did today. And then I went to Trader Joe's. Now, those of you in the US know Trader Joe's. It's a fun store. They have all kinds of different groceries than the regular grocery store. But yeah, I stocked up on Trader Joe's stuff, and then because I had to do this video, I thought, oh, I don't have time to make dinner. So I stopped at Panda Express. I was craving Chinese food, so I got Panda Express for Pascal and I tonight. The things I like there are well, of course, everyone likes the noodles and the fried rice, but I like Kung Pao chicken because it's spicy. And then I always add extra peanuts because they used to give you a lot of peanuts, but I guess because of peanut allergies, they don't so much anymore. So Kung Pao chicken, beef with broccoli, and then this time I got a mushroom and chicken, and then the two sides. So that will feed Pascal and I for a little while. So yeah, dinner's ready to go, and yeah, life is good. Life is good. I have no complaints at all. So anyway, I'm going to continue sewing this down, and then I will come back and show you guys the end result, and we'll go from there. So now that the envelope is completely sewed on both of those sides, what I did is I took one of my homemade buttons that I had stamped on and sewed it to this edge, and then just tied a little bit of my antique um, hemp thread and wrapped it around the button. And then I took one of these little buttons that looks like a spool of thread, and I sewed it to the bottom there. I bought these at Joann's, and so then that will help keep it closed. And then I added some double-sided tape on the back side. And let me just pull that off. I also want to show you the walnut shells. I got those off of Amazon, and I will link those in the description box. But the reason I put double-sided tape sometimes is then I don't have to have so much glue to hold things down, and it won't seep through. So I'm just going to, it's a little bit difficult to find that one edge and leave the tape behind. I'm having a heck of a time here. So this is my Fabri-Tac glue, and I'm just going to add a little bit down these double-sided tape sides. Yeah, just a tiny bit in the corners. And then I'm going to stand up so I center it because I want to make sure that the box closes. There we go. Perfect. And so then that will dry and then close perfectly. And then I will put it in my Huswiff, but I am going to wait to put it in until I attach whatever I'm going to put on the outside. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today at this Quick Tip Thursday. The quick tip was finish unfinished projects before you start on new ones. Thank you guys. See you Monday. Bye-bye.